How are you all? I hope you all are having a great day. That don't even sound right. Let me do it like I usually do. What's happening? It is, what is the day? Tuesday. And we got some special stuff happening around here today. Let me go ahead on and advise everybody now we're going to have some changes in programming probably within the next hour. They're going to be doing a live broadcast today from the Sanger Theater for The Wiz, right? Yeah, for The Wiz. So that's going to happen probably within the next hour. We will give you all the details, and I guess that's a good way for me to let you know, too, that you need to go ahead on and get your tickets for The Wiz, because it's in town at the Sanger Theater. Get your tickets. All right. Got a chance earlier today to talk to a couple of people from, I guess, all over the world, or up north. I'll put it that way, about different things that's happening in, I guess, in our lifetime that we never thought that we would. The big doo-doo that's going on right now is everybody saying that they are totally upset in Washington, D.C. about your president who is trying to receive this luxury jetliner, $400 million jetliner. I'm like, oh, baby, that's going to be something there. Because I know that rules, and it's usually rules of the federal government, state that you can't receive any type of gift that's more than $20, $25. I think it's $25. And if that is the case, I'm trying to figure out why that's not the case for him. I got some other questions too, but I don't know if I need to look this up. I think we brought it up one time before, and that was, how is Trump, your president, able to travel and get into these different countries with being a felon with 34 counts? How does that happen? I thought they said you won't be able to travel to certain countries because you are a convicted felon and 34 counts. I guess that if you are the leader of the free world, that don't matter. So he's flying to Qatar, also trying to go to Turkey for this meeting between Putin and Zelensky. And I'm thinking to myself, self said, it's looking like this man is going to get, when I say this man, I'm talking about your leader, going to get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff as it happens now. Even when we start looking at the release of the hostage, remember, they didn't go through Israel. They went straight through to the United States. I'm like, oh boy. Now, does he deserve some of the credit? You be the determiner. You make the determination on that one. Because I'm always say no. But I don't think that we have really sat back and thought about what's getting ready to happen. So we are seeing stuff flop, all these demands, all these different tariffs, all these different countries that's trying to put, we are now seeing all this stuff starting to flop. Stock market was going haywire. Then all of a sudden today and yesterday, it's back up. Why? Because we're letting go all these tariffs. We scared the hell out of people, giving them heart attacks. And now we've released the number of tariffs from 145 down to 30 in the percentile, 30%. And in some cases, it's 10%. So does that make you feel better, or what can make us go, wait a minute, hold on? Now they're saying Putin and Zelensky are going to have not only a ceasefire, but they're trying to get down to the nitty-gritty about how they can stop this war. And America, now hear this out. I've never seen some of these things happen ever. But we're making deals with other countries, because we just made a deal, and I don't know if you're paying attention to it. We just made a deal with Ukraine, where we're going to go into Ukraine with some of these private companies and mine some of their some of their minerals. And I'm thinking to myself, as I heard this part first, I know they're going to make this deal, because I know that Zelensky is saying, we're going to have the United States in our country, so they're going to stop shelling. Then the next thing you know, Putin wants to make a deal. Why? Because it'll be pretty bad for him to keep on shelling and hit some of the Americans that are going to be in Ukraine doing some of the mining. So here we go, yo. Here we go. We made a deal with a country that's in, I guess, need of our services for protection. And that was that we'll be able to go into your country and mine for some of those minerals that we need so desperately to make all of our products. We shall see. We shall see. It's going to get, I guess, stickier in the next month or two. Now, if Congress allows this man to receive this $400 million airplane, I'm done. I'm going to have to give T-Bone $2. I'm going to have to give him $2 in quarters. I'm going to have to give him $2 in quarters. If they allow him to accept this plane, when this has been a part of the Constitution for the United States forever and a day, and they allow him to come in and say, I'd be stupid to turn down the plane.
Him already stupid.
No, he said, I'm not going to be dumb. I'm not going to be dumb to turn down the plane.
You know what's the part that got me? They said that they have to tear it down stitch by stitch to inspect it, and it's going to cost billions and billions of dollars just to do that.
Yep.
Him ooped.
And then he had the audacity, the transportation secretary had the audacity to say, look how much money we'll save if we put our planes down and put that in. I was like, did he say that plane from Qatar is going to cost $400 million? If the plane costs $400 million, can you imagine how much the upkeep is going to cost you? Plus, they're going to tear it down and make it a military, I guess all those different particles that say it's Air Force One. They're going to make it military proof. And they're going to have to take it down by panel by panel. And I said to myself, how much that going to cost?
And you know what's the best part? No other president gets to use it. It goes into his presidential library when it's done.
And he said he's not going to use it afterwards. But he is. I would say that he is. But he blamed it on Boeing when he said to Boeing, you all have just been too slow trying to put together the new Air Force One, and the old Air Force Ones are 40 and 50 years old. So I said to myself, good way to pass the buck. Pass the buck. No word from Boeing, though. Boeing ain't said a damn word. They smart. As many mishaps as Boeing has had, they did not say one word. Very smart. Don't say nothing. Don't say one thing. Now, let me bring it home a little bit. Because I started talking about this story, and as I follow it, it's for true. It is for true. What you mean it's for true? It's for true. It's true. So there is a undertone in the, I guess more so than anything else, there's an undertone of folks that are seeing that some of your kinfolk ain't skinfolk and some of your skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Either way you take it. Well, what does that mean, Gerard? New Orleans has prided itself. It has taken pride in making sure that the state knows it owns and runs its own utilities. What are the utilities? That would be Sewage and Water Board. That would be the power grid, which is Energy New Orleans as well. Used to be NOPSI. Since maybe 20 some years ago, 30 years ago, we have seen the city of New Orleans regulate when there's going to be a power increase, when there's going to be a fee. As a matter of fact, those of you that are in the vicinity of your home right now and listening, I need somebody to do me a favor. I need you to go pick up your water bill. I don't need to know how much you paying. But pick up your water bill and call me. This is no test. This is not a test. I just need you to call out some stuff. Because what has been issued right now, and I'm not certain that everybody's paying attention to it, is that now there is a request to add another fee to your Sewage and Water Board bill, to your water bill. And I was saying to myself, how many fees we going to put on the bill? So if you by any chance have your water bill, let's go ahead on and start calling out the fees that they have to list. They have to list them. So you've got fees listed on your bill, from millages on down. Have you paid attention to it? Everybody's like, huh? What you mean? You got fees on your water bill. You may not think you do, but you do. And I said to myself, if you read the story, are you making people mad again? When they said, so let me read the story. Read the story, and then we're probably gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and take some of your telephone calls. I saw this story in what is this? Is that Veritite News? Yeah. It said New Orleans residents may be ready for a new utility fee if it means they won't have to sandbag their doors or race their cars to higher ground quite so often. A new survey commissioned by a New Orleans nonprofit group found that 53% of residents would support a stormwater fee aimed at improving the city's often overwhelmed flood protection and drainage systems. Support rose to 57% when residents were given basic information about the proposed fees, including how they would be calculated, according to the Water Collaborative, which developed the survey with LJR Custom Strategies and has long advocated for stormwater fees in New Orleans. In many cities, stormwater fees are based on how much of a property is covered with parking lots, roofs, and other hard surfaces that prevent water from absorbing into the ground, thereby increasing runoff into streets and drains. Now, here's how they work out how much you'll end up paying with your fees. The survey showed about 70% of residents support the creation of a stormwater management department that would function as a new utility within City Hall. Under a proposal by the Collaborative, the department would manage stormwater fees, spending, and coordinate drainage and stormwater retention projects by the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board and the city's Department of Parks and Parkways. The Collaborative hopes to bring the proposed stormwater fees and the creation of a new department before voters, potentially through ballot measures in November. Both measures would need City Council approval before they go to a public vote. There's more to this story. I haven't gotten it all. But when I heard that 53% of you all say, yeah, give me another fee, is that true? 504-582-9422. I want to see this go on the vote right now. If we going to get some fees for a Sewage and Water Board, is that true? All right, let's hear about it. 504-582-9422. We'll take the break here. We'll come back, take some of your telephone calls next.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to celebrating the hardworking teachers of New Orleans. Thank you to all the educators who came out to the 4th annual NOLA Teacher Fest at Champion Square. We had over 2,000 attendees. Special thank you to our sponsors, Allstate Sugar Bowl, Entergy New Orleans, Raising Cane's, Align Ed New Orleans, Agenda for Children, and Oshner Children's for their commitment and support. Teachers and school leaders, enjoy the summer break.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Man, I'm just a little bit surprised. A little bit surprised, but maybe I need to get unsurprised, but a little bit surprised. I was actually surprised that you all, meaning the average person that has a home and gets a water bill, says, yes, we're for a storm drainage fee. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. It says here in this story that New Orleans is one of the rainiest cities in the country and is dealing with compounding challenges around sea level rise, increasing climate risks, and disasters. That comes from Jessica Dandridge, the Collaborative's executive director. It is incredibly important for us to have a stormwater utility, especially as funding is dwindling in many of these areas. It says here in this article that Sewage and Water Board was about $40 million short of the $110 million needed to maintain the city's drainage system. Basic maintenance of the city's clog-prone catch basins and other drainage infrastructure was often needed infusions of federal money to supplement local funding. New Orleans' drainage system, which relies on 120 pumps, can handle 1 inch of rain per hour for the first hour and a half inch every additional hour. But climate change is intensifying storms beyond those capacities. Rainfall intensity in the city has grown by 9% since 1970. And storms like the one that dumped 4 inches of rain over 2 hours late last month are increasingly common. The April 21 storm overwhelmed the city's drains, flooded cars, closed several streets in the New Orleans area. 4-inch rainstorms are incredibly damaging to spots in the city not built to handle that type of drainage. The United States has more than 2,000 local stormwater utilities. Mostly are grouped in the Southeast, Pacific Northwest, and Great Lakes region. Now, according to the 2022 Stormwater Utility Survey that's put out by Western Kentucky University, no stormwater utilities have been formed in Louisiana or Mississippi, despite being the two states that are being hit the hardest by Hurricane Katrina and other powerful storms. Louisiana and Mississippi have missed a golden opportunity to encourage stormwater utilities, says the report. The Water Collaborative surveyed that drew from 500 New Orleans residents. Nearly 70% of respondents were property owners, and the other 67 had lived in the city for more than 30 years. About half of them have said that their homes or vehicles have been damaged by rainfall not associated with a hurricane. The survey also gauged the feelings of 200 New Orleans business owners. About 44% of them had been forced to close or adjust their hours due to flooding, and nearly 60% were worried about the future of their businesses. But do you want a stormwater fee? Well, you know what? That's a bad question. It's not the fact that you want a stormwater fee. Would you be willing to pay a stormwater fee if, now maybe I'll throw this in here and then you'll go, okay, all right. We got so many fees. I think that's what a lot of folks are going, not no more. For real? So the fees are getting people. I'd even gotten to the point where I saw somebody say, I went to go pay a traffic ticket. The traffic ticket was $180 for speeding. And by the time they had gotten to the cashier to pay for the traffic ticket, with all the fees that were attached to that traffic ticket, it ended up being close to $300 to $400. Because they had so many fees. They had the fee for, what was it? A fee for this, a fee for that, a fee for stuff that didn't even have nothing to do with you speeding and getting a traffic ticket. But you had to pay the fee. I'll never forget, I went down to, I got a traffic ticket. When did I get this traffic ticket? I got this traffic ticket probably about a year ago. And I went down to Power Boulevard to go pay for it because they had you in court. How do you plead? Your Honor, I'd just rather pay for the ticket. Go over to the cashier, you can pay for the ticket. Had no idea. Not only did I pay for the ticket, I paid for their entertainment with the kids, with the recreational department. I paid something into their water system. I paid something, everything. By the time I got finished looking at all the fees that went with that traffic ticket, it cost me $454. But I wanted to get up out that courtroom. Everybody looked at me and they said, man, you should have went to court. Then you probably wouldn't have to pay that. I was like, nah, y'all don't understand. I don't like courtrooms. I don't like the courtroom. So we're going to see how y'all feel in the next couple of weeks, because I know that somebody's going to try to put this on the ballot. And when they put this on the ballot, would you vote for a stormwater fee that would be attached to your sewage and water bill? Sewage and water bill, and I think to not next year. I'm thinking this year. This year, better think about it, because it ain't cute. Well, speaking of ain't cute, all the news is a-buzzing about P. Diddy. Y'all, I had to go in my apartment and change some stuff around. I got a great big old, what is it? Probably like 18 by 24 photo of all of us at a party, and he's in the photo, so I took it down. It's like, oh, Lord. So when we think about what he's getting ready to go through, it does not help to hear, it doesn't help to hear a host on News Nation interview Suge Knight from jail, from prison. Because y'all remember, there was a big beef between Death Row Records and Bad Boy. That's when you saw Tupac get killed, and that's when you saw Biggie get killed. I can't get you, but I will get somebody you care about. So they interviewed Suge Knight from jail last night. You can even hear the federal guy, the federal telephone system saying, "You were being recorded." It ain't funny. It really ain't funny. It's a daggone shame. But you can hear, and Suge did not he did not disappoint. Wait, I'm going to send you this on your, what you call it? It's an interview. I'm going to send it to your email. It's a link. I just sent it to you. I just want you to play the interview. But I'm going to tell everybody now. They aired this on News Nation last night. We're going to air it, but I didn't bleep it out. It's not bad. He did use the S word maybe once. I think once or twice. And you can barely tell it. I can tell it. But I want to let everybody know that in the FCC law now, that word can be used on air. But I'm telling you all, we don't prefer that to be here because I do respect, and I know that everybody, I know Wick, I know everybody else respects our audience enough to keep it clean. So in this interview, you may hear it, but I'm telling you, we are not sanctioning it and saying that, oh, that's okay to do, because to us, it's not. But I need you to get the clarity of this interview as he is having a conversation with the host about Sean Puffy Combs. And his family is sitting there looking at Combs like, what in the world? Because I've known Sean for, 20 years at least? And I had no idea that his hair was grayer than mine. They got him with gray hair sitting in, because they said that they won't allow him to put any type of coloring or anything in his hair while he's in jail. I had no idea. He's always been young to me. I was like, hey, I guess he didn't get old as me. So you got it? You got it? All right, so this is the interview that we had with Suge Knight about Puffy Combs, and it aired last night on News Nation. As I stated to you prior to, I think I should give you a warning. This is Suge Knight, and watch the language. Here we go.
For people who have done a little bit of homework and know who you are, why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you or nobody else to get nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, and I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer for no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. Because people think prison is always the answer. I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look at it, that man have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids. Mm-hmm. Now, I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react or get where he got or doing those things or those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true and what's not true. The only true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But for it being happy and proud and say, what do people think? That's irrelevant.
So, Suge.
It's just like I heard earlier today when Ray J was talking to TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I got love for Harvey, but I see Charles always got something negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? Yeah, I'm in prison. I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping to 5 o'clock, I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, the fact is, it's not no competition who's going to talk the loudest or talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms unless it be something positive. If it ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying. I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is in what you can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure. That Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about, and they were about the same thing, and that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Well, first of all, you got to start with at the top. If you're starting with the top, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away. You take Jimmy Iovine. They told me at Universal and Interscope, they said, you know what? We can't deal with artists that gets in trouble. And your artist gets in trouble and they talk crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Keep going, Suge.
They speak about what they see. Now, I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now, Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if he wiped the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
but this been going on for a long time.
Hold on, Suge. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is a little inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's just a recording from the prison. That's just saying that they record it, which obviously they do. Suge, help people understand. What tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I wasn't no choice to be at those freaky parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably will take it offensive when somebody will get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. But they used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They used to take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, and have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second,
but
Suge.
if you just look. That's
Suge,
all you got to do.
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Listen, and also, have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it, but if you haven't been in those butt-naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something, but I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So, everybody, you got to look at it like this. You see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life. From elementary school to junior high school to high school, if they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. If you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists, they might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth fix and lipsticks and nose fix, all the work done. Underneath, they still the young men with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at Puffy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures. You know, shit, they didn't do everything.
But Suge, just because he has plastic surgery, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is. But that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about richer people. I'm talking about the difference. I'm talking about, okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him.
You're right. Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
Yes, indeed. It sounds like Suge know a whole lot more than what's been told so far. And they were in court today. Cassie was on the stand today, and I know it got ugly. So, and they said they're going to start showing the tapes. So they got tapes. Oh, baby. Yes, indeed. What you think? 504-582-9422. More coming up, and don't forget at 5 o'clock, live from the Sanger Theater in just a bit, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Just a kid who grew up in New Orleans East. First attended public schools, then to St. Augustine High School. After college, Arthur Hunter became a police officer. And while community policing the housing projects, Arthur Hunter worked his way through Loyola Law School at night and became a respected judge who lectured at Harvard, Yale, and Columbia Law Schools. Now, Arthur Hunter is asking to be your next mayor, because the best way to get better police officers is from a mayor who's been a police officer. To bring life back to our playgrounds and neighborhoods is a mayor who played on them as a kid. And to have a government that's accountable is a mayor who's been a criminal court judge. Arthur Hunter. He's been called the best candidate for mayor you may not know yet, but you will. Arthur Hunter, mayor. Paid for by Arthur Hunter for New Orleans.
Do you know what United Way can do for you and your community? Find out by listening to United Way and You every Thursday at noon on WBOK 1230. United Way continues to fight for the most vulnerable members of the community. Find out how this Thursday and every Thursday at noon.
Febreze As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Uptown, downtown, wherever you are, keep it locked in to WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Just to give everybody the idea, letting you know that the show will probably be done in about, 12 minutes? Because we're going to be broadcasting live today from the Sanger Theater. They are doing the presentation for The Wiz has come to town, and tonight is the first night. So if you want to go over to The Wiz, okay. But if you want to go over to the Sanger Theater and check out The Wiz, I think tickets will be available. This is the first night. Make sure that you check it out. Go to Ticketmaster and look it up and celebrate and make sure. But I was, it always makes me think about seeing Diana Ross and Nipsey Russell and Michael Jackson, hearing the score that was put together by Quincy Jones, and then seeing Richard Pryor as the wizard, the man behind that green curtain. And just, I always thought that as I was coming up as a boy, that was always one of the best presentations that you would see with choreography. And I just thought it was so good. So we're going to see. Now, it's getting some rave reviews, but we're going to see. I hope y'all go and check it out. What you say, George?
Man, how you doing, bro?
I don't know. After listening to Suge lay it out the way that he laid it out, and Suge is in jail.
Yeah, and Suge know.
Yeah, he know.
He know, and he beat the duck right around to. Come on, man, y'all messing with low hanging fruit. How come they ain't talking about none of them other people out there?
Well, he called them out.
Yeah, he called them out.
And he called out the music. And see, being in the music industry, I know all those guys that he called out. I know them professionally because of the fact that when he said this one, Jimmy Iovine, he called this one, then he called this one. I was like, oh, Lord. These are the powerful moguls that make black music.
That shape black music.
Yep. They're the ones that put it out there. When he was talking about Jimmy Iovine, you got to remember Jimmy Iovine is a billionaire. So he was the one that did the deal. I'll make you understand who he is. He did the deal for Dr. Dre. For him and Dr. Dre to put out the beats, the headphones, and remember,
right,
and they became billionaires behind that. So I was like, oh boy, he really stepped out there, and then of course, he called a couple other people. One of them, which was responsible for Whitney Houston's career.
Yep, and they say murdered her too.
Yep.
And they say murdered her too. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they say they murdered her. They ain't say murdered her, but I know that somebody said that she could have been at some of those parties.
She could have what?
Been at some of those parties.
Yeah. But they got all her music and them rights entitled to make that money. Whitney ain't making no more. They still making money.
No. Her music is still making a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why the backstory on Whitney was it was real easy to murder her because they still got rich. She dead and gone.
Nah, I don't think they murdered her. I don't think so.
I believe it was murder.
Oh, you can. Anyway. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think that was murder. I just know that she was dealing with drugs and dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff and alcohol at the same time, and
all that.
Yep.
So that made it real easy to paint the picture she committed suicide in the bathtub.
So you don't think that she would committed suicide?
I think they murdered her, bro.
Okay.
I think there's a whole lot more conversation that wasn't being had, that was being had. But anyway, you know what my final analogy is on all of that, bro?
What's that?
Oh, first I got to talk about that criminal ticket you had. You got involved in the criminal judicial system, and they splayed you for a ticket.
I paid it. I wasn't trying to. I didn't want to go to court. I don't like going to court. That's number one. Number two, I just said, you know what? Let me just go ahead on and pay this ticket and get it over with. I didn't know it was going to be almost $500.
That's what I'm saying. You got involved in the criminal system, bro.
So
in the end, you think, okay, once you're involved in the criminal system, you're in the criminal system, and they did criminalization of you. They feed and tax you to death.
I just saw all those fees, and I was like, we playing for the recreational department, too? Like,
you got caught.
So
and you were honest, man.
It was the ticket and about 8-9 different fees that went along with it.
You got caught, and you were honest, man. You went and paid your fines and found out, oh, my God, I'm a criminal. They're making me pay fees and taxes, and I didn't agree to none of that.
Well, you know, the worst thing that somebody can do is not show up for court when you have been summoned to do so.
Bruh.
And they ain't going to sit down and break down your door and grab you and bring you out, but they're going to put a bench warrant on you.
That capers.
And I can tell you, the minute they put that bench warrant on you, you don't think that you're going to get caught. You're going to get stopped, or somebody going to flag you, and somebody going to tell something, and you can say, oh, yeah, you got the bench warrant, and they're going to take you to jail.
And when they take you to jail, you're going to owe 3 times them criminal fees.
You got to go to court. And then more than likely, they're not going to let you out until you pay.
And then they're going to add more criminal fees to you.
Yep. Why you keep saying them criminal fees, bro?
Because once you get involved in that system, you're just another criminal.
Well,
Which brings me to my next point.
What's your next point?
My next point is, all them famous dope dealers you talking about, Jay-Z and all them dope dealers, all them murderers, they all getting what they deserve. They all dope dealing murderers, bro. They kill people, mamas and daddies and little children. They didn't care about that dope they were selling, but they claim that was their way out. Okay, I see the Italians did it with the mafia. The Irish had their mafia. But only thing about these Negroes and their mafia is, hey, they played out front, bro. They didn't play the whole game out. The game was, you get rich, stay in the background. So now the whole game being played, and they all being played because they kept dirt on each other. Well, and I ain't got no sympathy for none of them. Jay-Z, none of them.
Well, I really feel that
none of them.
This will never be told fully. I doubt it.
No, it ain't gonna never be told fully because it's just like Stu was saying. There's too many people that's really sitting in the background that got too much exposure, and in the society we live in right now, bruh, my boy ain't gonna never get out of jail unless he tell a whole tale.
No, I mean he's the ringleader. That's number one. I don't think they're gonna get him on the RICO charges. I do think they're gonna get him on some other charges, and then the other part of it is, there's too many famous people with higher up mentalities and also thinking that they are above the law. I would not be surprised if we hear in the next couple of days that Puffy got hung in jail or somebody beat him up. I would not be surprised. I don't wish that. I don't wish that, but I would not be surprised.
No, you don't wish it. But Epstein got hung in jail, right?
Yep.
And that is not unrealistic because the people who are above him is kind of like the analogy of the guy that looks at a football player get a $300 million contract. You know who I want to be, right?
Which one you want to be?
I want to be the guy that signed the check. That's who I want to be.
Yeah, if somebody is giving you a contract for $300 million, they got another $300 million to get you out that $300 million.
I want to be the guy that signed any of them checks. Forget that guy with that little bit of money.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. At the end of the day, when, you make this conversation piece about the possibility of him being X'd out, because he has the knowledge to go beyond him. Beyond any of the big stars we see with the raw egg test and all of that, there is another level of people who have been made billionaires who contributed to all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
It's
so
coming.
I ain't worried about no dope dealers. They getting all they deserve right now. All the publicity they didn't do with them people who did in them other mafias, them Jews and them Irishmen, peel back and then give Canizero, their grandchild, a big multi-billion-dollar business and roll their money quietly and get Donald Trump to come to their house and have $1 million plate parties for them. Nah, they got stupid. They stayed out front. Nah.
All righty then. All righty, George.
All right, bro. Hey, man, have a good time at the Wiz, bro.
I can't go.
You can't go?
I can't go.
Why you can't go?
'Cause I'm working.
What? You gonna be, man? Oh, man, I feel bad for you, bro.
Goodbye, George.
I love you, boy. Look, because if I ain't listen to WBOK 12:30 a.m. on my radio, on my TV, on my computer next door at my neighbor house, I'm going to miss Gerard G-Man Stephen, and I'm going to miss the reality check. And now you got, on the backboard, Sunday afternoon, listen to some smooth music. Look at here.
Goodbye, George.
I'm going to miss out on some black facts I need to know. Bye. I love y'all.
Help us, Jesus. All right, folks, that's going to wrap things up for me. You got to play the news. You got to do your news. And then you can play another song till they get them ready. So, other than that, whatever you do safely, carefully is the way we want you to do it. You're not there yet.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
So what am I doing now? Telling everybody we'll be back. Are we gonna come back? I done told the people that I'm leaving.
You's gonna be back.
Help us, Jesus. We'll be back. News is up next. Everybody will tell you.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Cassie Ventura testified in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial, saying he once gave her a loaded gun while she was high and detailed abuse and drug-fueled parties. Diddy faces sex trafficking and racketeering charges with possible life in prison. Despite new calls for police reform, Black Memphis, Tennessee Mayor Paul Young says he still supports Black Police Chief C.J. Davis after the acquittal of 3 officers in Tyree Nichols' death. He pointed to ongoing reforms and a Department of Justice task force as progress. Critics question his joint statement with Davis, but both say they remain committed to rebuilding trust. And House Republicans have unveiled a Trump-backed bill slashing $880 billion from Medicaid to fund $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, risking coverage for over 8.6 million people, many of them Black families, seniors, and low-income workers. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
All right, folks, welcome back. I wasn't going to get into it, but since we done already heard it, let me go ahead on and get into it. Because I can still hear Representative Jasmine Crockett saying, see, told you so. See, told y'all so. So until they tell me I got to get off here, let me go ahead on and give you some more news. House Republicans have revealed the cost-saving counterpiece of the Orange Man's Big Beautiful Bill. What you just heard in the news, and let me go ahead on and repeat it so that you may have missed it. So I just want you all to get upset now. $880 billion in cuts they done found, largely to Medicaid, to help cover the costs of the $4.5 trillion in tax breaks that they're giving. What? Yeah, let me tell you again. $880 billion. They done found that money. And it's mostly coming from Medicaid. After you done heard over and over and over again that we're not going to touch Medicaid. We're not going to do nothing with Medicaid. We're not going to do this. We're not going to touch Medicaid. But they want to take that money to help cover the cost of tax breaks that were given to the wealthy, which is $4.5 trillion. Tallying hundreds of pages, the legislation revealed late Sunday is touching off the biggest political fight over health care since Republicans tried but failed to appeal or repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. While Republicans insist they are simply rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse to generate savings with new work and eligibility requirements, Democrats are warning that millions of Americans are going to lose their coverage. A preliminary estimate from the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said the proposals will reduce the number of people with health care. It's going to reduce the number of people with health care by 8.6 million over the next decade. Savings like these allow us to use this bill to renew the Trump tax cuts and help Republicans promise to hardworking middle-class families, says Brett Guthrie of Kentucky, the GOP chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, which handles health care spending. But Democrats said that the cuts are shameful and essentially amount to another attempt to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act. But they say, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Well, what we going to do? I can still hear Jasmine Crockett, Congressman Jasmine Crockett saying, I told you so. Told you so. So what do? What do? You make sure that you pay attention to this one, because remember something about the state of Louisiana. The state of Louisiana is dependent on health care from the federal government, Medicaid, Medicare. We are dependent on it. I don't know if y'all understand what I mean by we dependent on it. We're one of those states that if you take away Medicare and Medicaid, it's going to be a lot of dead people around here, and it's mostly going to be poor people and people of color. Now, with that said, they need to understand something about what I just said. It ain't just us on Medicaid. Y'all can be a Trump state if you want to be. But it's a whole lot of our Caucasian friends that have some type of help from the federal government, Medicaid, Medicare, whichever one you got, or both. Y'all can sit up there and say, oh, man, that's my guy. That's my president. Your president is trying to kill you to give that money to the wealthy folks. And if you don't believe me, let this bill go through while you sitting up there trying to figure out why I can't get my medicines, why I can't see the doctor, what happened to health care around here, and why nobody's coming out to the rural areas to open up clinics. No, all that's going to go away. All of that's going to go away because you're not going to be able to afford it. you are not going to be able to afford it. Let me go back to the story. It said, in no certain terms, millions of Americans will lose their health care coverage. That comes from Frank Pallone of New Jersey, the top Democrat on the panel. He says hospitals will close. Seniors will not be able to access the care they need, and premiums will rise for millions of people if this bill passes. As Republicans race toward the White House Speaker, Mike Johnson, they're saying that Memorial Day deadline to pass Trump's big bill of tax breaks and spending cuts. Y'all know that's right at the end of the month, right? So this is not something that we're going to do in 6 months. This is not something we're going to see in the next couple of months. They are trying to do this in the next 2 weeks. And if this big spending bill, as it's called by your president, goes through, bye-bye to your health care. In this article, it is saying that the politics ahead are uncertain. More than a dozen House Republicans have told Johnson and GOP leaders that they will not support cuts to the health care safety net that residents back home depend on. Trump himself has shied away from a repeat of this term, vowing that there will be no cuts to Medicaid. One Republican, Senior Josh Hawley of Missouri, warned that his colleagues in an op-ed Monday that cutting health care to pay for tax breaks would be morally wrong and political suicide. Political suicide. That should be enough right there alone if you get ready to commit political suicide. I do think that now is going to be the probably the most prominent time in political history for the state of Louisiana. What do you mean prominent time? The prominent time meaning that this is going to be the time that we have got to have a conversation, more than likely with not just our representatives, but those representatives that are going to support this from other parishes, from other districts, and putting teams on top of them. Teams, yeah, you got to start developing teams of call bankers. Those bankers should be able to have a set of people every day calling those representatives and letting them know that you're paying attention. Call bankers. So you have 5 people or 10 people that are going to be calling every day to these districts where these folks are going to support this. Because if we lose Medicare, can you imagine how long and how drawn up that it would be to even try to get it back if you lose it? What you say, Pop Jones? Pop
hey,
Jones.
G-Man.
What you say? How you doing?
At it again, huh?
Yeah. Gotta let people know. Gotta let them know.
G-Man, you said if it passed.
Yep.
Well, have you noticed?
What's that?
When the last time the Republican Congress and the Republican Senate voted on anything that the president
Oh, well, he's been putting everything in executive orders, but he's got to get for this one. He's got to get Senate approval and also, I would just say congressional approval for this to go. It's called the Big Beautiful Bill. That's what he's calling it. But they're putting money for migrant clampdowns, tax breaks, and a couple of other things that he's got in there that made me go, what? Almost like adding $350 billion to the Pentagon for the military. But I don't know why they're adding $350 billion to the military. And then, of course, you also have that what is it? Don't tell rule that they're trying to get rid of, and they're trying to make sure that if you are acting as a transgender in the military, they want you out. And it's a whole bunch of stuff in there that I'm looking at. The tax cuts for the rich, Medicaid cutbacks, food stamps cutting back. When I saw food stamps, I'm saying, okay, food stamps, what am I looking at? So this means they're going to start taking money off people's EBT cards.
Well, G-Man, have you seen anything that's left that a dictator is not doing?
What you mean? Have I seen anything left that he's not doing?
In other words, everything I'm looking at is passed by executive order.
Yep.
We really don't have a president. We got a king.
Yep. Something wrong. But he's doing everything by executive order because he doesn't want to go through, I guess, the rigmarole of dealing with the Democrats and maybe even some of the Republicans. But now...
and nobody doing nothing except they got some people that are having the town meetings, and if they don't show up, they're not voting. But I don't think that's happening in Louisiana.
Not yet, but these town meetings...
New Orleans or the surrounding areas.
These town meetings are getting pretty spicy there.
Yeah, they're doing what they want. Don't look like, nothing going on, know.
Yeah.
Take all the taxes, everything.
Yeah. I don't know what we coming to, but I think there's somebody, Jasmine Crockett was on, she was on the Late Show last night. Yeah, she was on the Late Show last night. And I think they didn't give her enough time, but I did see her and some of the comments that she made, according to what she said. She's like, I told y'all this was getting ready to happen. This was getting ready to happen, and y'all didn't believe us. So now this is what we got. Now we got to fight it, and we're going to fight. And I'm not one of those that's just going to sit back and take it for nothing. I'm going to fight. So where the rest of us at?
Sleeping.
Well, what scares me about Louisiana, though, Pop Jones, what scares me about Louisiana is usually what goes on in the country. We usually have somebody, well, I don't need to call his name, but y'all know, who's going to follow every little thing by the T that happens in the country is going to happen here, too.
Where's the people that's voting for the third parties and not voting at all? What they thinking?
I don't know. We trying to learn to dance right now. I got my fan in my hand and I got my boots on.
So you doing?
I'm trying to learn to dance. They trying to learn that dance right now. They might join us in a little while. They might join us.
Boots on.
Yeah, they might join us in a little while. But right now they trying to learn that dance. They got the fan in the hand, got the hat on, and they got the boots on the ground.
The boots on.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead on, G-Man.
So when they get ready to finish learning that dance, they might join us then. I know that's a priority. That's a priority.
So in other words, G-Man, they're not worried about nothing.
I don't know. Don't seem like it. Right now, they're trying to learn that dance, and they're trying to get their boots on the ground, and they got their fan.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
There you go.
That's all they're worrying about, huh?
I think so. Sometimes when you look around, I'm like, where's everybody? So.
Ain't that a shame?
It is what it is. I mean, I don't think that nobody really wants to sit back and say that we missing in action, but I got to tell you, we MIA. We missing in action.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we won't miss in action for those 4 amendments, but And I made a terrible joke where that joke said, let somebody mess with your EBT card. Guess what they're going to do? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, here it is. They getting ready to take. They're getting ready to take this money.
They're doing all that move aside.
And they say reductions are coming in food stamps as well as Medicaid. So your food stamps is that money on your EBT card.
400, yeah.
I'm telling you that, Massa.
Of slavery.
He getting ready to hit you.
Oh, man.
So here we go. Well, look, Pop, I got to get ready for my break.
All right, G, man. Good talking to you.
Same here, my friend. Same here. Tell your wife I forgot to tell her Happy Mother's Day.
All right. I will tell her,
But tell her I said Happy Belated Mother's Day. I forgot.
All right. All right, G, man. I will do that.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye. You there? So I'm getting ready to go. So I ain't coming back this time.
You still got commercial.
But I ain't coming back.
But you ain't got to come back on here.
All right. I'm getting ready to go, y'all. They done already told me one thing, two things. Now this is it. I'm gonna walk out this door. All right. That's gonna do it for me, y'all. They'll be live at the Singer Theater in just a bit. So we'll be back. So everybody hold tight. Live from the Singer Theater is coming up next.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Decades ago, black entrepreneur Richelieu Dennis founded Sundial. It's the brand behind the popular Shea Moisture line of products. But after building the business into a big success, Dennis sold it to a major company, Unilever. A move that confused a lot of people in the black community. In a conversation on Bloomberg, Dennis explained the reason why he made the move and why he's continued to make similar moves.
The impact of having sold Sundial to Unilever mean that we were able to invest in Honey Pot, grow and scale that business. We were able to invest in Mielle, build and scale that business. Both of those businesses are the highest dollar value transaction that a black woman has had in this country.
In 2017, Dennis founded Essence Ventures, an independent black-focused consumer tech company. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts-Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at BeyondTheStageLLC.com/campart and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
to the front porch in the evening.
In the evening. It's the front porch almost after dark.
Almost after dark. Front porch kind of dusky. It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys. You know, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
And into the evening, y'all. We are live.
Yes, we are.
At the historic Sanger Theater. Because tonight, this night, is the opening night of The Wiz.
Yes, the world famous.
Yes.
The very inspirational, the very black version. Because you know there was another.
Oh, listen.
But this is ours.
This is the one
cult classic.
That when they first came here, I was about to graduate from high school, same month.
Good God.
Yes. You guys, it's 79.
We keep talking about
79.
that.
In 1979 in May. I read that and you guys came and I said I was just about getting ready to get out. And I remember coming to the show. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a good one, man.
Yeah.
This is a good one. And we are here live. We're so glad you guys are able to join us right here on the front porch. And we are so honored to have as our first guest right here. We cannot wait to speak to the man about whom this whole production is named. He'll be portraying The Wiz.
How about it?
Alan Mingo Jr. Alan, good afternoon, my friend, and welcome to the front porch.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure. It is an absolute pleasure, man. You are glowing. You got a big old
Right,
smile.
he's rested. He is rested.
Just woke up, baby.
Yes, he is rested. He is shoulders down, breathing easy and comfortable on this opening night here in the Big Easy.
That's right.
And The Wiz, I already know that this is a hot ticket to get.
Yes.
And now that people are outside, you know, because we weren't outside for a while.
That's right.
But to be back outside and to be able to experience and enjoy The Wiz, we're so glad to have you and the rest of the company here to present this, like, it's a cult classic. Like,
Yes,
you cannot escape it.
Yes, it is. And for us, we sort of took those who knew the play version, like
Yes.
you said, you saw the stage version.
Yes.
And we took the movie, in which how I fell in love with the
We
movie.
were talking about that on the show today. Yes.
Because people look for two different things.
They are.
Yes.
So we merged ours together so no one's ever disappointed.
Okay.
We added some of the songs from the movie.
I love it.
To this.
To keep that familiarity. So yes.
Correct. So no
yes.
one walking away mad, going, "This is not the version I know."
But the thing is, though, it's when you experience the play, it is that it's an experience because the performers, they give a different presentation because what's expected from them as a theater performer versus what's expected as a movie performer is different.
Totally different.
Because that voice carrying situation is a different thing versus the cameras versus having to project from the stage.
Correct, and this is about 2,000, a little bit more than 2,000 seats, so we got to reach the back of the house.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
I'm so excited about that. But that you are portraying The Wiz, and you've made the merge. So for those of you who, because we have some of our listeners who will be attending tonight's performance, playing The Wiz without giving too much. What are some things that we can expect to see?
Well, because we blended two different versions, we actually rewrote the script. We pulled it out of the 70s.
Okay.
And sort of now it's timeless.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
With this production, our director wanted to make this version for her two teenage girls. And the one thing she did with The Wiz is she said she didn't want her teenage girls to look up to an adult. And then when they don't follow through, to be disappointed.
Oh.
So with this Wiz, there's no redeeming quality. I get them to go kill a witch. When they come back for what I promised, I'm like, peace.
Y'all kept it real. Director kept it real. And let me tell you something. Life ain't no fairy tale, child. This ain't no crystal stair.
Exactly. Sometimes an adult will disappoint you.
Yes.
And you got to be okay with that and move in your own path.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And being able to, I'm sure that's going to cause them to be to rely on their own awareness because again, in the imaginary space of things, you're like, well, this looks a little questionable, but
Yes.
they said just keep going. So
Yes.
I'm going to keep going there.
Keep going. I wish you wouldn't have done that, but I can't let it stop me. I got to keep on moving. Yes, indeed. I love it. Now, Alan, I know you're playing the Wiz in this, man, but this is right now. I want to hear, tell me about Alan Mingo Jr. Where did he start this journey? Where you from, man?
Well, I'm from the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
A little further south in the D.C. area.
Okay.
Still called the South. Some will debate it.
Yeah.
I understand.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. I started singing, and I fell in love with theater from school, and then decided to
High school?
From high school.
From high school.
My last 2 years in high school, all of a sudden, theater popped up.
Okay.
I really thought I was going to be a recording artist.
Right on. Right on.
And then all of a sudden, I started getting these scholarships to go to college for singing and acting. So let me give that a try. I did it, and I love academia. And I went and got my master's in just acting. I thought I was going to be a classically trained actor. And then about 6 months before graduating with my master's, I wound up getting my first Broadway show.
Oh, wow. And what was that?
It was Rent.
Wow.
Rent. Someone made me go audition.
Oh,
I stood in line.
Yes.
And I wound up getting it like after 10 auditions. And then I went to my school to say, hey, like our last year is about getting a job. I just got one. Can I peace out?
Right.
They said, as long as you write your thesis on the road, then you can go. So while everybody was partying in every city, I was in my hotel room.
You were playing stuff
I was
and
banging it
singing
out.
Wow.
525,000. Yes.
There you go.
You were on stage. That is lovely.
Yeah. So this is my 6th national tour.
Congratulations.
So
That's
I love the road. I love the road. Getting to meet the local people and the neighborhoods. They always got to tell you where to eat.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love that.
Have you been inundated on where to eat since you've been here?
Yes, indeed.
And where have you been? Because this
I
is
can't
the
remember
culture.
the restaurant's
This is
name.
the
Don't worry
culture
about it.
and food show. So yes, by all means, what did you eat? I'm sure you remember that.
The dishes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if I should.
You
It's
should.
okay.
This is what we do here.
We talk. It's the front porch. Feel
We
free.
indulge. I had some oysters. I had a little caviar. I had some short ribs. I had some. There was some sort of like beignet, but it was with beef. I've never had anything
I can
like
tell
that.
you where. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to be wrong, but I can tell that short ribs and the oysters with caviar.
Yes.
That's what. Yeah, I think I got a pretty good idea where
I
you
got
were.
Thanksgiving stuffed. I shouldn't have eaten that much.
No, you should have.
Absolutely.
You're talking about it, and your start time is late enough where
Very
you
true.
can have some rest, and then your happy belly and happy singing is gonna show up on stage. So no, yes, do that.
Okay,
And what
fair,
a memory.
But I can't do that every day.
No, we can't either.
I gotta bounce around on that stage.
Now, I tell you, if this is your 6th national tour, this can't be your first visit to our fair city. You've been here.
I've been here about 4 times.
About 4
At
times.
another theater.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a Civic or if that's a Masonic temple. I don't know. It's just on the other side of town.
Okay. I wonder if it might have been the arena, maybe?
Possibly.
Was it the UNO arena?
I don't know. It was just,
Okay, well, yeah, but yeah, that probably, if it
But
was
you
big.
remember it
I
being
remember.
a large place.
Yeah. We always stay downtown, so I'm familiar with what's going on.
There you go. You're no longer a rookie.
I'm like, I remember this. I'm gonna go back there. Come back in
Exactly.
town, and yes, I love that.
Exactly.
But it's also good to hear that you found something new after this time. You have the dish that you said you had never had before, and it impressed you.
It did.
Yeah. Okay.
It did.
I like the sound of that.
But just too stuffed. I crawled home.
That's good.
You had a good time.
Is that what you're waking up from right now?
You know it. You know it.
I love it. See, but that's a great New Orleans lunch because that's what you probably had that at lunch. You said, I've never eaten like this at lunch ever. But
You've got the luxury of being able to rest and be ready for it. So that's exciting.
Thank God I work at night. Thank God I work at night.
Absolutely. Now, Ease on Down the Road is what led us here.
Yes.
And with some of the revamps that have happened, what are not arrangements, but what types of dance styles are expected to be seen in this? Because I'm the resident dancer, and those things are important to me. So with the revamps, making it modern, all of those different things, what are we going to be looking? What are we dazzled by?
Well, our choreographer, Jaquel Knight, you may know him from Single Ladies for Beyonce.
Okay.
Single Ladies.
Okay.
So you're still going to get this sort of a history of the African American dance throughout our piece. But his dances are electric. I can't wait for you to see the top of Act 2.
Oh, okay.
When we get into Emerald City.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a little bit of a nugget. You had to be listening. You had to be on the porch to know what to look for.
Yes.
Okay.
The crowd goes wild.
I'm super excited. I am super excited.
Because we'll be staying here. We're not just working
We're
and
not
talking
just
to you guys.
dining and dashing. We're here to see the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
All right, so you're going to have to tell me. How do we do?
We'll find you and tell you are absolutely right. You will ask because we know. Listen, this is the 50th anniversary of The Wiz on Broadway. You guys having it on the road. Do you feel a sense of duty, I guess, in the way, because you know you're holding it up? It's the 50th anniversary, but it's not the same Wiz.
No. I mean, we like I said, we tried to mix the two versions.
Yes.
We took the 70s sort of slang out of it to make it timeless so that when we finish our tour, other schools and universities and other theaters can do it without trying to mess with it anymore.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
this is my my third version of The Wiz that was supposed to come to Broadway.
Okay.
Even when I got this job, I didn't believe him until I touched that Broadway stage.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Show
everyone
me,
was
right?
trying. Yeah, show me. I don't believe you until I actually see it.
Right,
And that opening
right.
night, then I'm like, okay, we finally did it. But everyone was trying to sort of change the slang. I did it once somewhere in the early 2000s and changed it to that current slang. And I think what we did right was we just made it timeless.
Yes.
So that it doesn't need to have, the 70s slang.
Right.
For our music, it's the Breakout Star. We did some amazing vocal arrangements.
Okay.
By our vocal arranger, Alan Renee Lewis. We'll bring you to tears, some of it. So some songs that were solos, they were quartets. Some songs that were solos may be trios or just having some of we call our Dorothy Lion Tin Man Scarecrow heroes, or some of the heroes.
Yes,
that
some of the heroes.
sing
Yes.
around.
Yes.
So it's quite beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
okay.
layered now, which will probably pull everybody in even more so, because when you have multiple voices, it gives a different richness to it.
Yeah. And we took out now there are things that were still identified with the 70s, but with our musical arranger, he would take a pop song, like he'll take something from Prince. He goes, oh, that beat would actually fit under this.
Okay.
So it's familiar, but it's freshened up. It's
brand new.
Makes sense. Yeah. So it's also, we wanted to make sure that we're introducing the audience, or introducing a new audience to the Wiz. Like we talked about before, some people know the Broadway play, some people were introduced to the movies, but I would say one thing: as I've been touring around the country, people have to tell you their relationship,
their Wiz
with
experience.
Show.
Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of shows that were movies, musicals, from Shrek, Lion King, A Little Mermaid. No one will come backstage and tell me, my mom introduced me to this. Now I'm bringing my kids. My grandmother made sure I was sitting in the front row.
Yes.
Or we would watch The Wiz on Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving,
Right.
and now I'm
Becomes
bringing
a
my niece and
tradition.
nephew.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing with no other show, but it happens with this one.
Yes,
right.
you have to look at the span. I saw the Wiz at a drive-in.
Did you?
And where do
gotta
you have
love it.
drive-ins anymore? And so
$1 million idea for somebody out there.
there, yes,
you go.
please.
$1
Oh,
million
you want some land
idea.
in the screen. But my kids got to see, and they know the music from the movie, but they also got to see. There was the one iteration when they did on, I want to say NBC, where Queen
live
Latifah,
version? Yeah,
right?
yeah,
so
yeah.
they got a little bit of
yeah.
the original version as well. But our relationship with the Wiz is, and we've had I feel like we had a segment, or at least a full hour dedicated to having pieces of it. It was like, I don't know if that was for kids.
Right.
But every child went to go and see that one.
Everyone.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah.
appealed to the kid and the parent.
Yes.
That's what it did. It appealed to the kid and the parent. You have done this on more than one occasion, and I would be remiss if I didn't try to get you to tell me which one has been the most memorable. Which one which character have you had the most fun portraying on stage?
I mean, it's this one.
It's this one?
It's this one, The Wiz. The reason, like I said, I was in other versions, so I would do the classic. The original actor on Broadway was Andre DeShield.
Yes.
I love Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Who
doesn't?
My man.
Right. Who doesn't? So I know the shoulders in which I'm standing on.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
when they decided to change the script, I will tell you, the first day of rehearsal, they told me they were changing the script. I got mad.
Right.
I'm kind of a purist. You know what I mean? I was like,
raised on it.
Right.
You knew it.
Right. They're like, did you read the script? I
This
was like,
goes next. This is not right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say these words. What's going on? So I went home and I read it, and I'm telling you, I had a nervous breakdown. I was like, what's happening?
What is happening here?
What is happening? Words. I was like, I can't
did
do
this?
this. So I'm friends with the director. We performed with each other, actually in Rent a long time ago.
Okay.
So
All right.
a mutual friend said, you need to tell the director. You just need to have that conversation. So I went in the next day. I was like, girl, I don't know if I can do this. You know, these are classic roles. And I was ready, prepared. And she told me the whole thing about her 14-year-old daughters, and I said, I can't beat that.
Yeah.
I can't beat that.
Right.
So
Right.
now it gave me a chance to mix it up. I'm saying new words and to create my own character.
Yes, I was so good.
While being aware of the shoulders I'm standing on.
Yes.
So in a way, it was a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. We talk about that when we talk about artists who remake classic songs.
Yeah.
It takes a set of whatever you got.
Yes.
Because we know it's equal. It takes a set
Yes.
to even try it, but to make it yours is the difference. You know what you're standing on.
Yes.
But you've got enough of what you bring to it to say, you know what? I'm going to turn this just a touch. You won't forget what it
No,
is.
still going to honor it.
But it's going to be me and not what it
Yes.
used to be. You got a chance to do
Exactly,
your thing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why this role to me is great. I kind of look at him as like a black Willy Wonka.
I got you.
You know what I mean? He's a
got
little
you.
dangerous.
He's a little dangerous.
He's still charming. You still want to do what he wants to do, but he's a little kooky where you're like, what did he?
Yes.
Is he blinking excessively? What's going on? What was he doing before he walked out here? It's that kind of
Yes.
character.
Yes. Oh, I love that. The description that you were giving earlier, you almost made this version sound like a film. The way it's layered, the way that when it used to be one character singing and now it's three, it's a different feel that when you describe it, I can visualize it. I can't wait to see it put together up on stage.
And I'll just say, underlying all of it, from the borders of the stage that you'll get to see, it is infused with Afrofuturism.
Oh, that's
Right
beautiful.
on.
Yes.
So it's subtle, but if you're paying attention, you start,
love detail.
You'll start pulling it out.
And we want that. There's a hunger for that right now.
course.
There is a hunger for that. And then connectivity. We've been looking for that as
That's
well.
right.
So that
Absolutely
makes
right.
a huge difference that you've been able to, one, bridge the gap from the 70s, also connect different pieces from the diaspora, and that is satisfying the hunger for people. Because this didn't just fall out of the sky.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't. And it's unapologetically black.
And that's the
Yes.
beautiful part. So are we. I don't know if
Yeah.
you could tell
Yes.
on this
That's what
front
we do here on
porch.
the front
You
porch.
understand?
I
On
love
this
it.
front porch, we are one of the very few black-owned radio stations in the country. As I think there's less than 300, and probably one of two in the state. And we're proud of that. And
Yes.
we just what you said, unapologetically black, and want to make sure that everything that we do, so many things that are positive, so many things like this, that we get a chance to trumpet it. That's the beautiful part about having get to meet a cat like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, to come here and talk about your journey and what you've been doing and give us a little peek into what we can look forward to tonight. We gave away tickets.
Yes, we did. We
Yes.
gave
We
away
gave away
several pairs
tickets.
of tickets,
Yes.
so our listening audience will be listening. But also, like right now is a drive time, so kids who are riding in the car with mom and dad. I have an interest in theater. Oh well, I'm listening to somebody tell I didn't get involved in theater until high school.
High school,
So for
junior
somebody,
year.
this is a thought trigger, or for one of the grandparents and parents, and saying, you know, oh, I've seen this in my child. So let me find a way to get them connected, because who knows how far you'll soar.
Well, I'll also say for those kids who are listening, you know, we have social media that does a lot of things.
Yes.
Now we are mindful of the social media audience.
Yes.
So things move a little faster in this show.
Okay.
But for those who actually want to go into entertainment, and again, like I said, social media is out there, but education is still the key.
Absolutely.
You can't escape the foundation that education actually gives you.
That's right.
I walked out of school more confident.
Yes.
I know I can read anybody under the table.
Okay.
I know how to read my music. So when someone goes, hey, can you do this real quick? Okay, of course. Let me just look at it for a second. Education, there's no substitute
And though, for those of you who may just be tuning in, I want to let you know that El Mingo finished his last 6 months of school while on tour with another company. So those things can be done of a master's degree. Let me make sure I clarify that. He was finishing the last 6 months of his master's degree program while on tour. And so the space, once you have the information, it's with you forever, and then you can say, okay, yes, no, I know this. I don't need you to code. No.
Yeah.
I've got
the
this.
nerve to learn your craft.
Right, and you can't unknow what you know.
I love that. I love that, man. I can tell you, Alan Mingo Jr., we know that we're gonna be hearing a whole lot more from you anytime you happen to be coming back here through New Orleans.
Yes,
you've got an open invitation to come visit us.
Thank you so
much. Usually we're here earlier.
Yeah.
You might not be up yet.
Because we're normally up at 9.
9 a.m. to noon our time. Central
you
Standard
just stay
Time.
up and then you can do it and then go take a nap.
I'll get up.
And we'll schedule you at 11.
Okay.
We'll schedule you kind of
something more reasonable for me.
Something more reasonable. We understand, because trust me, if we had our druthers, we wouldn't start till about 11.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
Get that middle part of the day. This run is going to be, how long are you guys here?
We're here till Sunday.
Here till Sunday.
Is that the 18th?
Yes.
Yes. Here till Sunday.
So, folks, you got to get out. You got to get out.
Tickets are going fast.
Tickets are going fast. I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think tonight is close to sold out.
Yeah,
Somebody said.
at least.
If it's not sold out already,
yeah.
Call and check and see. But you've got several more nights that you can come to see this production of The Wiz. Alan Mingo Jr. is actually playing The Wiz and has joined us here on the front porch. My friend, thank you. We know that this time right now is very precious to do both resting and centering yourself and get everything done. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come sit with us and talk to our listeners. All the best to you. Break a leg, as they say.
Yes.
And we'll see you on other. We'll be out in the audience. We'll see you on the stage.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The front porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. We got to take this quick break. Stick and stay. We are live from The Wiz at the Sanger Theater. So we'll see y'all on the other side of the
NOLA Public Schools is excited for the rest of this 24-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars attend today, achieve tomorrow.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 Minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
The New Schools for New Orleans team would like to send a huge congratulations to all of our graduates across New Orleans Public Schools. We wish you all the best on the next chapter in your life. Know that you are destined for greatness.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK.
some facts off it. Yeah, absolutely. They got more restrictive roles.
Not even.
Back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. I'm your host, Graylin Brian Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
And this everybody, yo.
Yes, we got all hands on.
All hands
we got sales,
on
we
deck.
got production, we got management, we got PR. Everybody's here today.
Everybody. All engines.
Yes, everybody is in tow, making sure that you all can hear us.
That's
and that
right.
We can get you the information and the great interviews. That was a great interview just now.
Wonderful interview right there with Alan Mingo Jr., who is actually going to be playing The Wiz,
The Wiz.
in The Wiz.
Yes.
Because if you didn't know, we are live at the
are.
Sanger Theater for opening night of The Wiz right here in a beautiful hallway. You probably never had a chance to sit and look at the...
Oh, no, I have.
Oh, you have?
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
So many people just walk through.
No.
But it is a beautiful theater, chandeliers and sconces and wall.
And if you're inside the theater and you look up while the lights are out, you can see things moving.
Yes.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kids.
It wasn't that last thing you had before you came in. That is meant to be.
No, you can see all kind of things and how they move the lights, and just the lobby and area. The lobby area, the craftsmanship that went into this. Because is this ivory, or does it look like ivory?
I don't know if it's ivory, but it is. I think they call it.
It's not.
It's a relief. Yeah, it's relief. It's the way that they do that is not what the lathers do. What the guy who do the plaster and
right.
and
No,
the
no.
medallions
This is not
and stuff.
that. No.
This is a raised art on wallpaper-like stuff.
Yeah, wallpaper-like stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's not actually wallpaper.
No,
but
'cause
it is
lifted.
raised. It's lifted. That's what I'm saying. It's a relief.
And it's all the way through the ceiling. So, like, if you have a curious child,
yes,
the detailing and the details that are here and the restored, because we gotta remember this theater was shut down for quite some time after Hurricane Katrina.
That's
and
right.
So even with the storm, the damage that took place and occurred, they have done a great painstaking job of restoring
Absolutely have.
the appearance and all of the decor here in the Sanger.
An exemplary job. Shouts out to the good folks at the Sanger. I think we got a phone call.
Yes.
I think we got a phone call. Is that Claude on the phone?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Hello. Hey,
I can hear you, Claude. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm one of your winners to the tickets to your Wiz. How much time do I have? How much time? How many minutes do I have?
Wait, say that one more time.
How many minutes do I have?
How many minutes until the Wiz starts? What, about an
No,
hour?
to say what I want to say. To say what I want to say.
I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
I can hardly understand what you're saying. Say that again, Claude.
I'm in the car. I won this morning tickets to the Wiz, and I just wanted to come and talk and share something with you. But I want to know how many minutes do I have? I don't want to take more of your time.
Oh, no, my friend. Go right ahead, because you sound great right now. We can hear you clearly, so whatever you did, continue to do that. Tell us what's going on, man.
I want to tell you how special that was for me. I've called in your show before, And I watched them, and I never went anything. It's just a movie Monday. But this morning I called, and I said, oh, single? I said, oh. And I called you. I was on the phone, and I did something else, and I hung up. I said, oh, Lord. And I called back, and I called, and finally I got a line, and I won a ticket with the Coca-Cola jingle.
Yes, sir.
But, the Wiz me, I told my wife, I said, oh, I would love to see that, but times are hard and tight. I said, I can't afford it, but I would love to see it. Back when I was 19, grade 79, I was 19 years old. I ain't going to talk no more about that. But I went to that grade, and it changed my life. It changed my life. I said, there's something more to my life in New Orleans. And I
know that's
need to
right.
go to Kansas City. I need to go to Kansas City, clicked my heels 3 times, but I went to Washington, D.C. at Howard, and I learned so much more than what was here in New Orleans. And it set me on another trajectory, but it was the Wiz that inspired me to move on and do something different. I eased on down the road, and I'm going to ease on down the road tonight to the singer. Yes, indeed.
Well, I tell you, that is an excellent story, Claude. Thank you for sharing that with us. I don't know if you were listening, but we actually just talked to the Wiz, man. So we just interviewed the Wiz. Yes, sir.
I hope to see y'all tonight when I come in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Claude,
Thank
be
you so
careful,
much.
man. I know you're driving. Be safe on that road. We look forward to seeing you tonight, all right?
All righty.
Take care, man.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Congrats again.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
We right here live at the Sanger Theater, opening night of the Wiz. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Stick and stay. We got to take this quick break, and we'll see you on the other side of it.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.